Hey, I'm John Plumstead with Bravo Company Digital. Go to www.bravocompanydigital.com if you want to know what we do. All right, so why this cold calling script is a game changer for cleaning companies. Let's start with this. How would you sell pizza over the phone? Right? Do that thought exercise for a moment. You go, hey, who am I going to call? Maybe I'm going to call some offices. And what's my script going to be, right? Like, hey, have you had lunch yet? Do you like pizza? Right? Like, decent thought exercise, but it's bullshit. Why is it bullshit? Because selling pizza over the phone would be so much easier than cold calling for a commercial cleaning company. Cold calling for a commercial cleaning company is difficult. So don't think about how you would sell pizza over the phone. Instead, think about this example. How would you sell braces over the phone? Dental braces. You're like, I don't know, that would suck. Yeah, that's what selling commercial cleaning over the phone is like. Why do I like this analogy? Because it lets people know right off the bat that it's difficult. It also lets people know that if you call someone and it's a 70-year-old lady and they're like, listen, guy, I'm 70 years old. If I haven't gotten braces by now, I'm not getting them. Some people look at that like, hey, this is an objection. How do I overcome this objection? It's like, it's not an objection. They just don't need braces. It's time to make another call and move on. What if someone's like, hey, I already have an orthodontist I love. All of my kids already have braces. I'm not in the market. How do you overcome that objection? Again, hang up the phone and move on. Okay. How you sell braces over the phone, much better analogy to commercial cleaning than how do you sell pizza over the phone. Okay. So what should your mindset be if you are looking to grow a commercial cleaning business through cold calling? You better realize it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you don't have your mind ready for the marathon, you're going to go crazy. Okay. Another analogy I like to think about is you have to try to find a needle in a haystack. Okay. Too many people, when they talk about cold calling, are talking about how can you turn a piece of straw into a needle, right? Like how do you convince someone through this amazing script to actually need commercial cleaning? And you just can't do it. So your mind has to be right for cold calling commercial cleaning clients by going, hey, you are looking for a needle in a haystack. And when you're on a call, as soon as you realize that it's not the needle, it's not someone that's going to be a qualified lead, you need to end the call and go to the next one. So what are your numbers going to look like? If you are a business owner, you know your market really well, you're going to be somewhere around 1 out of 100, right? Like maybe 1 out of 25 if you've got a super small refined list, right? But I generally think you're probably going to be 1 out of 100 or so to get an appointment, right? If you're using offshore labor, global workforce, and you have, a list of a couple thousand people, 10,000 people, something like that, you're going to be closer to 1 out of 500, right? Maybe 1 out of 250, 1 out of 350, something like that, but it could be as high as 1 out of 500. So you just have to realize like it's a numbers game, people, right? Like this video is about how to develop your script, what script to use, but we haven't even gotten a script yet because I need to make sure anyone doing cold calling for a commercial cleaning company understands that you better get your mind right. You better recognize that it's a numbers game. So then you go, okay, well, I saw the Wolf of Wall Street, man. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jordan Belfort, like they got this awesome script, right? So here's my impression of this awesome script if it was a commercial cleaner. Good morning. This is John from ABC Cleaners, the premier commercial cleaning service in town. How are you today? Listen, I don't want to waste your time, so I'll get straight to the point. We're not just any cleaning service. We're the best in the business. Imagine walking into your office every day and seeing everything spotless, every surface shining, every corner immaculate. That's the ABC Cleaners guarantee, right? That's how people sold over the phone in the 80s and 90s. Even if you memorize this or we're looking at it and you could perform it perfectly, it's not going to work in 2024. Why? Because it sounds salesy. If you sound like you're selling stuff over the phone, it's not going to work. So what should you do? What should your script be? 99% of your script should just be the opener. Okay. Commercial cleaning, because it's a numbers game, you want to focus most of your attention on how to have a great opener. And this is what I recommend for an opener. If you remember nothing else, remember this as your opener. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. You say, good morning, this is John from ABC Cleaners. Are you happy with your commercial cleaning company? And then shut up and see what they have to say. Okay. Shut up and see how they react. What is this telling us? It's having some pleasantries so you don't sound like a complete robot. It's saying, hey, I'm John. I'm from ABC Cleaners. And then it's just cutting through the pleasantries, cutting through the crap and saying, are you happy with your commercial cleaning company? Why? Because every single appointment you get is going to be someone that is not happy with the commercial cleaning company. If they are in fact happy with their commercial cleaning company, if they don't have a commercial cleaning company, if they do it all in-house, you need to find that out right away so you can go to the next lead. Okay. If you don't want to use this opener, you can come up with your own opener. I would use, this stuff down here to develop it, but I think this is about as good an opener as you can have. Okay. Good morning. This is John from ABC Cleaners. Are you happy with your commercial cleaning company? Here are those 9 points. Get to the point. Why are you calling? Because you want to know if they're happy with a commercial cleaning company. Be short and concise. You want 5 seconds or less to get to the point. You're going to build rapport through your tone and smile, not this BS small talk. Hey, how are you? The weather, isn't it great? If you're in New York, those people hang up on you. If you're in the Midwest or maybe nice, happy people in Florida, they might not hang up, but it's not going to build rapport. Okay. It's just going to take you longer to get to the question. Remember, it's a numbers game. But that opener is the filter. You want to, if they're not in the market, you want to get to the next call as fast as possible. Rotate and record your openers. I mean, record by if you're going to rotate through 5 different openers, have them right next to you. See which one you feel most comfortable with. When you get in a groove as you're cold calling, pick one and stick with it. If it starts getting dull, that's what you adjust is your opener. And you can get creative here too. Some people, a big one is, have I caught you at a bad time? A lot of people like that. It doesn't feel natural to me. I don't like it as much, but some people rotate through that quite often. Okay. Be a product expert, because if they say, no, I'm not happy with my commercial cleaning company, you got to go into the next part of the script. The only way you can do that without freaking out is if you're a product expert. Remember, energy is everything. Be flexible, be mentally tough. So here's how I look at a script. Some people like looking at it in a Word document. This is more how I prefer. Okay. Is you're going to do 1,000 cold calls and you're going to be able to fit everyone into something like this. Good morning, this is John from ABC Cleaners. Are you happy with your commercial cleaning company? They're going to say something like, no, we're looking for a new one. Actually, my boss just told me that we wanted to take new bids. Actually, our contract's about to expire. Actually, they're doing a poor job right now. And then you get into the green stuff, which we'll get to, but it's called the dance, right? It's where you get to go back and forth and try to get this information and try to schedule an appointment so you can get out there, okay? What if they say, hey, we're happy with our cleaners? You go, okay, awesome. Do you know when you'll be open to new bids, right? Like if they're happy with their cleaners, they probably don't give a crap about you. See if there's any intel you can get. Hey, when will you be open to new bids? Hey, do you know when that contract expires? Hey, how long have your cleaners been working with you? See if you can get some intel, but you're probably not going to get anything. And then if they are happy, get their email address, right? All of our calls should end with trying to get their email address so we can email, okay? What if they say they don't know? I don't know about our cleaners. Say, hey, is there someone I can talk to that can? But also remember, too many people try to get past the gatekeeper, right? You'll call a property management company and the person answering the phone will be like, hey, the property manager makes that decision. And you're like, hey, can I talk to the property manager? And they're like, property manager isn't in right now. Can I take a message? You're like, oh, I can't get past the gatekeeper, right? Here's the deal. Most of these places, especially a property management company, especially a dental office, especially some of these smaller accounts, the gatekeeper is always going to know if they're happy with their cleaners. The gatekeeper is probably the one managing the cleaning company. So don't spend a bunch of time trying to get past the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is going to have all the intel. Okay. If you have someone say, call corporate, say, hey, awesome. Can I have corporate's number? And if they just give you the number off the website, or if they give you, help at corporate.com or something, no, they're just trying to get off the phone with you, but that's fine. Same thing with in-house. If they're doing it in-house, you're not going to flip them. most likely to a commercial cleaning company, but always try to get emails. Okay. Always try to end it with getting emails. So what if they're open to a new commercial cleaning contractor? Well, then you get to do the dance, right? The dance is all about emotional intelligence. It's, hey, if they say yes, you have to try to schedule an appointment while getting as much intel from them as you can without sounding like a crazy person, right? You got to make sure you do the dance. And I don't want this whole video to be about doing the dance, but you have to acknowledge that there's some dance there. And up until this point, this is the only differentiator. Okay. You could have a great caller and a very bad caller that if they're doing numbers, they get to the same exact point until you get to the dance. And that's when a sales professional truly gets to be a sales professional, but not any time before this. Before this, it's all just grunt work trying to get here. And then you get to try to do the dance. So what should your script actually look like? I think something like this. It's not this giant script. Listen, man or lady, whoever's watching this, right? Like I've written out scripts. I've clicked on every Facebook ad to get a script. I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of scripts. And I'm telling you, the way my brain works, the way my companies work is more simple, the better. So this is what I would go with. This is the script. This is the video. This is the script you should use. If I just talked about the script, it'd be a crappy video, though. I think you have to understand why. That's why this video is going to be longer than just this. But this is the script. Good morning. This is John from ABC Cleaners. Are you happy with your commercial cleaning company? If they say something like, we're looking to make a change, say, well, I'm glad I called then. Can you tell me about your current cleaner situation? And this is when you start doing the dance. Maybe you try to sell your services a little bit, but you're really more in survey mode, not sales mode, right? You don't want to be the person that's like, well, we can do this and we can do that. And, we've been in business for this long. Sometimes you have to go hard in the paint like that when you're doing the dance, but the dance is going to work better if you let them lead and you can ask these questions. What about objections, right? Too often, we spend all our time trying to overcome those objections, right? We're trying to turn a piece of straw into a needle. Sure, maybe they said, hey, we want to replace our commercial cleaning company, but we don't want to give you the opportunity to bid. Then maybe you overcome that objection, but you're not going to get that objection ever, most likely. Most of the objections you're going to get are people trying to convince you that they're an unqualified lead, and just accept that they're an unqualified lead. Quit worrying so much and spending so much time trying to overcome these objections in your head. So how do you get better at cold calling? Be a subject matter expert. Practice your calls. Call volume. In commercial cleaning, you have to do a ton of calls. Time management, survey instead of sell, and mental toughness. If I had to pick two here, it'd be call volume, mental toughness. It's a numbers game. Most people aren't going to be interested. Go back to that example. If you're trying to sell braces over the phone, most people are going to be unqualified. Even some people that are qualified, if they're not in the market for braces right now, you're not going to convince them. Okay. So what about pottery class? You may have heard this before, but there's two groups in this pottery class. One is the perfection group. Teacher says, hey, you have all semester to make the perfect piece of pottery. The other one is the volume group. They have to try to make as many pieces of pottery as they can throughout the semester. Long story short, what happens at the end? The perfection group, they try to make one perfect piece of pottery, and it's average at best because they don't have any practice. The volume pottery group, by the end, they're experts at making pottery because they've made so many pieces of pottery by the end of the semester that they've learned so much. Okay. So that's how I think about cold calling. This idea that so many people want this perfect script. So many people want this perfect list. Ultimately, what cold calling is picking up the phone, being mentally tough, and doing lots and lots of phone calls. Remember, volume beats perfection. Thanks again. I'm John Plumstead. Go to www.bravocompanydigital.com to learn more about what we do. Thank you.